What's up, Eric? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. You out in Vegas? Where you at?
Yeah, I'm back home in Vegas. Finally just got home from Hawaii a couple days ago. So it's nice to always be back and, back at the battle station.
Where'd you go? Maui or where'd you go?
We went to Maui for the first time. So it was nice, man. We stayed at the Ritz and got to play some golf and really just kind of chill with the family. So it was fun.
Was it still fucked up from the fires, or was it noticeable?
It's definitely noticeable. Like they were in like the rebuilding phase. So like Lahaina, where the main fires kind of took control, was like everything was like brand new. Like a lot of the buildings were new. There was a lot of infrastructure that was like going up. But yeah, everything looked pretty brutal there. When we were there too, there was also like a little brush fire that started. So
Yeah.
the whole city kind of like freaked out. The whole island kind of freaked out, but they ended up getting it under control. But yeah, man, it was definitely, you could see like the ruins of a lot of the stuff that burnt down, sadly.
Yeah, my dad retired out in San Luis Obispo. Apparently, there's some huge ass fire out there. He's got all his cars packed and everything. So we'll see what goes on with that.
Yeah, man, it's technically like fire season, right? Everything's dry. It's windy as hell. So that's how those fucking spark up.
Yeah, California is just insane. Every few years, one of my houses almost burned down, and I had 5 properties in Santa Clarita Valley, which is one of the higher risk fire areas. And it was funny, I forgot to pay insurance on 4 of them. So that last LA fire, I was playing reverse roulette, oh fuck, how many houses am I gonna lose? Thank God none of them burnt down, but I Snap got insurance and all this stuff right after. But yeah, welcome to Liquidated. As you know, we're close friends, but you've been a part of the community for a long time. I think one of the things I love about you is you're so good at connecting with people and have a genuine connection with people, want to get to know what they're doing in the space, but also reach out and call and check on people for no other reason, just to look out for them. And I really appreciate that about you. I'm glad you moved out to Vegas because you're closer to us now, but I'm on Liquidated more to get origin stories from some of the guys in crypto, give advice to some of the younger kids that are trying to get in this space that don't really have a bag yet, and maybe are trying to trench or look for honest and good ways to make money in the space. So tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into trading, how you got into crypto.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's the one thing that's always a jaded thought process when it comes to crypto is a lot of people always think oh, the success comes super quickly, or, they see those stories of Photon and, phantom traders turning 100 SOL into 5,000 SOL, stuff like that. But dude, my story is just it was a long grind, right? I started trading just traditional stocks, penny stocks, pink sheets, OTC deals back in 2015, 16. So it's going on 10, 11 years of me really starting to get into the success area, right? To where you can do it for a living, you can do it every single day. So my origin story is just a long grind, right? It took a long time for me to get to where I am. And I think within crypto, everybody kind of chases that one moment or that one meme coin play to make them a millionaire right away. And there's definitely stories out there, and props to a lot of those guys that make it happen. But for me, it's just been kind of a long grind. When I first started, I blew up 5 trading accounts, and you just kind of got to rebuild over time. And trading was always one of those things that I never wanted to give up on, just because I knew the freedom that was on the other side.
Yeah.
It's really one of the only ways to create generational wealth for your family is real estate market, stock markets, that sort of thing, building your own business. So it was just something that I never really wanted to give up on, no matter how much money I kind of lost initially to kind of learn the game, man. You kind of have to pay your market tuition. And
yeah, I think it's good to have it go the hard way for you first, because then the value of money. One of the things I'd recommend a lot of the kids out here is if you do get lucky and you're playing the roulette wheel of memes and you tag a big meme coin, that's when you should use that money to get more into the majors and to stay in that world. Whereas a lot of people, when they hit the roulette wheel, it's the best time to quit when you hit that number. They won't quit. They'll keep throwing numbers back on the thing, hoping it'll happen again, and then they'll lose all their money again. I've seen tons of my friends, and this is true, all of them, round trip, 10 or 20 grand to millions of dollars and all the way around if they stayed into the decent, put spots in like ETH or wait for good spots in BTC, they could all do pretty well. Like for me, like I played poker for a long time, right? And like if you want to win a poker tournament, it's like the same thing. Like I believed in my skill, I believed in how good I was, but there's the ego involved in like, oh, like I'm so great that I hit this number. Like I actually won a poker tournament and then paid off my student loan, started my law firm, and just kind of quit poker after that. And that's really hard to do because like you have this world where you get the dopamine and adrenaline rush from whatever. But I think there's stages of the evolution of crypto trading. And I think they start in memes unless you're an insider, you're a big time coal, or you're just smarter than everyone else. Like obviously Pwn Lord is a genius at, getting edge somehow with AI or botting or whatever else. And like, he's still found some edge, at least for now, until AI gets more sophisticated. But, it seems as though there's some really big spots like in AI, or not AI, in memes still in the trench. They're getting pretty hot again. But guys like High Stakes Capital, I don't know if you follow him.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine. He's like heavy into was it Bitmine?
Yeah, Bitmine.
So he's heavy into that right now, which I think is pretty interesting. I definitely bought a few 100,000 of that today. But he seems to think as they're going to tokenize Robinhood and all these other apps with like American stocks, and it seems as though a lot of these banking companies as well are like, I don't know if you've seen some of these on Twitter. It seems as though there used to be major restrictions on like foreign companies and foreign LLCs being able to bring money into the U.S. And I don't know, there's a few of these companies now. It's like you don't need like this big KYC process anymore to get money from foreign entities or foreign countries into the U.S. So to me, if they tokenize all these stocks and they get all this available money from European countries everywhere else, like it's going to be insane, like kind of like a meme coin cycle for stocks and trading. So
yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the way it's going, right? To where like crypto has kind of changed the dynamic of a lot of things to where like banks can somewhat be irrelevant when it comes to like moving money, right? Because you don't have to put all your money in banks anymore. Like, you can transfer it from, one stable coin to another, send it to another wallet. And, like a lot of people are starting to understand that and like realize that, like it's like kind of like the saying of like be your own bank that everybody talks about with Bitcoin, but it's like kind of coming to fruition right now. When it comes, because nobody wants to deal with banks. Everybody, really kind of fucking hates them. At least I know I do. They're annoying as hell to deal with. So, any way that people can kind of move money that's, one, easier, and then two, just doesn't have as large of a fee as it does, because even if you just go to the fucking airport and you exchange US dollars for like euros, you're hit with a fee like right away. And like, if anybody can kind of bypass that, or at least not have to deal with it, they're going to want to do that. So that's like a very interesting concept as well, to kind of be tokenizing all that sort of stuff. And, you see like exchanges starting to, crypto exchanges starting to offer like stock trading, right? Being able to trade the S&P, the SPY, all that sort of stuff. So, it's kind of cool to see like the growth of it and how it's kind of changed so much over time, just from like, fucking idiots trying to just long, altcoins back in 2017 to the growth of like NFTs to now meme coins are kind of getting legitimized. And it's just all kind of like coming into play. And I mean, I still think that we have more upside on the markets overall within the next like year and a half. I know people are trying to fucking time the top and say that Bitcoin tops here or Bitcoin tops there. But I think really crypto and Bitcoin in general is going to start moving in the dynamics of like equities is, to where they're going to have those small dips. They're going to have black swan events, but the US is really good at kind of like kicking the can down the road and just making sure it goes up. And now that it's getting institutionalized, Bitcoin, they're going to probably start doing the same thing.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these treasury companies will blow up eventually. And I don't know, this is my third cycle. So usually when I hear a narrative, like, let me turn some lights on here 1 second.
Yeah.
Usually when I don't know if this helps at all, but usually when I hear a narrative about ETH flipping BTC again, I'm like, we're getting pretty close to the top. But as far as like being the bank's concerned, like, I remember I started like an ICO like in 2017 and wired some money to some foreign company. I got immediately like debanked by Chase.
Yeah.
But that was a different time. Like the policies in the governments were all against crypto. they're all pro crypto now. Trump signed that executive order basically saying you can't discriminate based on politics or crypto anymore. And
Yeah,
the
that's
banks are going to have
huge.
to compete. If they're not going to compete with all these other entities that are going to do it the way that we want them to do it, they're going to go under. So
Yeah, no. And I mean, I think it's kind of just funny because like everybody wanted a pro crypto president as Trump, you know? And then I think, you know, he got like a really bad rap with signing the tariffs and everything kind of happening. And then, you know, crypto kind of tanked along with the stock market. But like the reality is, it's like, it still doesn't matter. Just because tariffs were put in place doesn't actually mean that it changes any of the dynamics for crypto. It was just a lot of people kind of emotionally trading certain things to try and save money. So it like, you know, it is good to see all that kind of stuff happening with Trump in office. You know, obviously he's very controversial when it comes to just policies in general, but, you know, being in the crypto industry and dealing a lot with crypto, trading crypto, you know, it's definitely something that I want to see, even if it was like for a little bit of short-term downside that now turns into that long-term acceptance that everybody's been wanting for so long. And people can sometimes be against that, right? Like they say, you know, it's kind of against what Bitcoin was created to do, what Satoshi wanted to do with it, to where,
yeah,
you know, it shouldn't be institutionalized. But like for me and someone that works in the industry, that's what I personally want, because like you get a deposit from Coinbase into like a Chase Bank or something, it's questioned right away. What's this? Where does it come from? All that sort of stuff. And, you know, you don't want to be dealing with that, even though, you know, you're doing everything by the book and you're doing everything legally, you're paying your taxes, you know, they're still going to be there questioning you and making it hard for you to just run your business or do what you want to do within the industry.
You know, you saying that, like, I think a lot of the big Bitcoin OGs, they want decentralization. They want to be their own bank. And there's some of them are selling their bags now because everything's kind of getting institutionalized. I wonder if AI can play a role. And I just thought of this right now, like in some ways where they create not like a DEX that's like an exchange, but maybe like a DEX for people that can hold like Bitcoin, like a treasury without a KYC, and somehow
Yeah.
being able to move. It'd be a lot easier for people to move money and then not have to worry about the pains of self custody. But I wonder if something like that comes about at some point. But I don't know. It's, I
Yeah.
guess, for a different conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like, you know, the opportunities with the acceptance of it is kind of endless, right? You know, like you said, a lot of OGs kind of selling their bags, saying that this isn't what they wanted, but this is what a lot of people do want. You know, they do want acceptance with being able to just, you know, do things the way that they want to do them without having a third party be in the way of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, for me, it's one of those things that's like, you know, it's good. It's acceptance within the industry that everybody wants. Now, most people just want it because they want all their bags to pump and all this sort of stuff. The reality is, like, it might take a couple years. It might not happen overnight. It might not happen this year. It could happen in 2026, 2027. Like, who knows? But you do know that, like, things are just starting to become of acceptance. And that's, you know, what you want to see, essentially, being within the industry. And not just traders, right? You got people that are creating these AI companies within crypto. You got, you know, projects that are creating these, you know, certain, like you said, DEXs or centralized exchanges that they can't use, or even just like a product that has to do with crypto integration. Now they don't have to deal with all of that regulatory issues that they had to in the past, and they can just freely build like they want to build. And so that's kind of like, again, taking that next level up to being able to be, you know, to be able to do that.
What's your current like kind of trading strategy right now? Are you in stocks right now, or just memes, or crypto all together, or what's your thoughts right now on the market and how you're playing?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit of everything, man. Like, you know, stocks is where I got started. You know, most of the time, stocks is just kind of like a buy and hold type strategy for me. And you know, that's kind of where I see most of like my big winners. Everybody talks about, you know, their big plays, and you know, where I've made the most money has just been holding spot. You know, spot BTC, spot Ethereum. You know, a couple altcoins back in the day when the COVID crash happened, and you know, everything kind of started to pump to the upside. You know, that's kind of where I've made my most money, has just been holding spot and making it, you know, that way. Leverage trading, yes, of course. You know, I think leverage trading is always it's always good because it keeps you active with things, but it also can be dangerous if you don't like have a good strategy behind it. So, you know, I try not to be like a degenerate with leverage. I try and keep things close, you know, maybe 5-6x leverage. I don't like to do anything over that. You know, I don't like to fund these leverage accounts with $500,000 or $1 million. You know, you can fund them with like 50K and still make 4 to 5K a day, or, you know, every other day, or whatever. You know, you don't need that amount of capital. And I think that's another like jaded perspective when it comes to like margin accounts and using leverage. Is everybody sees like the 50x, the 100x, and they see these big winners and all this sort of stuff. But like when I learned on E-Trade brokerage and interactive brokerage, IB back for trading stocks, we were given margin. We weren't given much margin. It wasn't 50x, but it was maybe 2 or 3x. So that's kind of like how I learned. And I kind of just like take that strategy over to, trading it on, a leverage exchange. I just don't use that much leverage, even though you can make a lot of money using it. It's just more or less keeping it like a simple strategy for all that.
You there, Castillo?
Yeah, you there?
Sorry, I'm just trying to get a better lighting, but it's not working out very well.
Nah, it's all good. You still look great, bro. You in LA right now?
I'm in Vancouver right now. I got my girl out here, and I got my son. This is his birthday a couple of days ago, so I took him fishing. I'm living very close to Trader Main.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like across the street from me. He's one of my close friends. So he grinds during the day, and then we take a walk. I train boxing like 90 minutes a day.
Nice.
Which is like super intense. We're gonna go to Whistler this weekend, which should be super fun. Like I've never been there, but I'm excited for it. And like trading wise for me, I'm obviously a Bitcoin maxi, but I am in BMNR right now because of high stakes, and also because I think it's the part of the cycle where ETH finally rips.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I won't be in it long. Like if it hits, if I get a 2x or something, I'll be out of it quick. But I do think that the next bear market will be because of treasury companies. I haven't decided when my exit will be. Everyone seems to think it's end of this year, but it might go into mid-summer next year, or maybe not. Maybe we're finally at the place where this time is different and Bitcoin keeps flying. But I certainly believe there's going to be a bear market for all altcoins except for Bitcoin, if that's not the case.
Yeah. I think we've kind of seen signs of that anyways. I think altcoins will do well. But I don't think we'll ever see like a 2020, 2017, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Into 2020 with the COVID crash and everything. I just, it's kind of proven already that we're not going to see that type of action from all the altcoins. I think there's going to be a select few that do run, and I think memes are getting acceptance now. I think memes bring in a shit ton of liquidity, and I think a lot of the VC capitals out there like that. Sometimes they don't like these projects that have been around for a long time and that have been building. They just like where the volume's coming from. And a lot of volume is going into fucking meme coins right now. So I think that's like a lot of things that, some people, might not understand. And it's like, yeah, they're memes, it's whatever. But sometimes people don't give a fuck what it is as long as it's bringing in the volume.
No one gives a fuck what it is as long as it's making money. Yeah. Apparently, like I know Pwn Lord's heavy in, was it Takubu? Are you in that shit?
Yeah. No, I think I bought a little bit of bag when I saw a couple people talking about it. I got put onto a few things, but that's just kind of how it is, man. It's like you buy stuff here and there, you put like 3-4 ETH into it and see how it does. Like they're not all going to be winners, but if you can catch that winner that goes from 2 to 5 million market cap all the way to 500 million market cap or even a billion market cap, and you get one of those, that's all you really need. You can eat the losses on the other ones and take that one big winner. It's kind of like my style of trading is like get a little bit of everything and try and catch one of the winners along the way. They're all not going to be winners, but hey, as long as you got one, it's probably going to outweigh those losses.
Yeah. Another way you make it in crypto is relationships, meeting people, getting the right opportunities, which I think, you're really good at fostering those type of relationships. What advice do you have for people that are trying to get in the space? How do you, vet through these people? Obviously, a lot of those people in this world are, don't have the best intentions, but what advice do you have for people out there?
Yeah, just get out there. Like, honestly, I think like, the first event that I ever went to was, it was where I met you, was in Dubai 2022 was when the FTX collapse happened.
Yeah.
And that's like, where you kind of just start. Right. Yeah. And I've built so many relationships. I've gone to some of these guys' weddings, I've gone and, met some of their families and, meet them up in Vegas. A lot of people come to Vegas, but just like going to the events, man, go to Singapore Token 2049. You can go to the Bitcoin conferences, just kind of get out there and meet people, shake some hands. You're going to eventually build a relationship with some of them. And again, I met a lot of the guys when everybody was really fucking down bad based off FTX, like Rookie, Trader Main, you, Ponzi, Scott, Trading Lord. Like I met a lot of those guys within, you know, it's only been like 3 years, but, you know, just like continuing to get out to the events. The crypto fight nights are great events to go to, you know, to watch you box. You get to meet a lot of different people, you know what I'm saying? So that's like my biggest advice is just get out to conferences, get out and shake some hands, you know, show face, continue to show face. Don't just go to one, you know, go to multiple a year and just see, you know, see what it turns out. Cause you never know whose hand you're shaking or who wants to help you along the way.
Yeah, I always think it's important too. Like, I have a hard time with this in crypto because, like, I don't like some of the people I think that are kind of scammy. But I always give this advice generally. Like, always just try to be nice to everyone, be a good person to the extent you can, because you never know who's gonna like refer you case. Like, even as a personal injury lawyer, like, I'll have guys that refer me cases that I don't necessarily like that much, but I've always been nice to them. And hey, they might refer me a case, and you know, I'd sell it for $1 million or 500 grand. It's like, wow, you know. I guess I just be nice, whatever. But obviously, like, you have your boundaries and your personal opinions. Like, I can't physically do it with some of the people in this space that are out there, you know, taking people's money. But yeah, I mean, there's some really good people out here. It's my best friends in the world are in crypto. Yeah, and I met them all, you know, at a random conference or place in Dubai, and you know, we've gone through some other people that have cost us some money or scammed us for some dollars, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's worth it. How do you what's your plan? Like, how do you manage the risk right now, or like what's your plan moving forward on things right now?
I mean, still usually just like, you know, I kind of like manage my risk kind of like the same way, right? And I take this from mentors that I learned from back in like 2016, 2015, you know, when I first started.
Mentors?
So I did a couple of like, just like chat rooms, trading groups, you know. One of them was Tim Grattani, Corey Runner. Tim Grattani, I met him through Tim Sykes Trading Challenge, right? So I worked with kind of like Tim Sykes, and I got like educated on that. And then another one was Mark Crook, the Honest Crook, you know, and these are guys that are really big in the penny stocks. They have nothing to do with crypto, right? It's just like meeting them for the first time. You know, I one of the first things that they told me was, you know, because that's what you want to do is you want to quit your job and you want to be able to fucking, you know, trade full time. But, you know, what he had told me and what they had both told me was like, look, if you can get 3 times your annual income sitting liquid, right? Meaning like if you make 100K a year, and you now trade it up to be 300K a year, and you have that in capital in your bank or in your trading account, that's when you can kind of go and be like, you know, take the leap of faith and try and do it full time. And so I still take that as like management now. Like back in the day, what me and my wife were making together, I just make sure I'm sitting on 3 times that annual capital. And it can be in stables, it can be in a bank account, it can be like however you want to manage it. But like knowing that you have that as a backup if things were to go wrong, or if another FTX collapse kind of starts to happening, you know, that's kind of like where my management goes as far as like knowing that I'm safe, right? Is just have like 3 times your annual income. And that's really what I tell a lot of people to this day. It's right. Like, oh, I made 50K here. Can I go be a full-time trader? And it's like, well, you can try, but just know that like there's a certain way that you should be going about it. And that was always what my mentors told me is like have 3 times your annual income kind of saved up.
I think Ponzi takes a similar approach. I know he kind of resets his account a lot and then takes profit and starts over again. One thing I'll say, like from my perspective, I'm not a trader. I'm just, you know, investor, but you know, and I've started trading stocks like the first time in my life. I'm actually doing pretty well, but
yeah, good time to start, man.
I'm definitely talking shit to a lot of the guys in the wetards.
Yeah, great time to start.
But you know, I've always had multiple side hustles, multiple businesses, and then if one business starts making more money than the other, like crypto, then I'll make that my main hustle. But it's always good to have other sources of income, especially for traders that overtrade. Like usually, if you have other things going on in your life, I think that it almost benefits you because you'll talk to most traders and they'll say, you know, when I don't have as much time to trade, and I'm not trying to overtrade, and I'm like just getting spots that are like you must trade this spot. Then I think that's when they do perform better, you know? And I've probably made 4 trades this entire year, and I've probably done better 99% of CT.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it's just you wait for a spot. You don't look for a spot. You wait for a spot that's handed to you. Is the best.
Yeah. I mean, it's like less is more, right? Like I think, you know, and there's different approaches, right? Like if you want to be an intraday active trader and, you know, trade, you know, the daily chart, the 1-minute chart, you know, that's one thing, but you can also like allocate a small percentage of your portfolio to that, right? Like you don't have to do it with your whole stack. Like if you're sitting on $500,000, you can trade with, 20K, and then you can build up that 20K to, 80K, and then take out 60, put that in your bankroll, and then start again with 20. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of the way that I do it as far as like my allocation goes, is I'll usually reset an account. I think Ponzi's a little bit more aggressive than I am. I'll usually do like a 20 to 30K account, start it, build it up to, maybe 90, 100K, and then pull that profit out and then restart again. You know what I'm saying? Because one, it can kind of teach people how to start with a smaller bankroll. And then also, you're being conservative and making sure that you're locking in what you have, taking it out, and then restarting with another account. Now, it may take you longer to reach your goals because you could start with 100K or 200K and maybe move it to 1 million, right? And then take some more profit out. So it's just a longer process, man. Like, everybody has what they're comfortable with. Everybody has a way of trading, and no way of trading is wrong as long as you're extracting capital and profits from the market. And so that's normally what I like to tell people is, you can also try different ways as long as you're profitable.
I think it's a really good point. Like, I think it brings up me to like analyze your own psychology. Like you're a different animal than I am. Ponzi's a different animal than me. Like, we know our risk boundaries and everything else. So you have to pay attention to what people do, and then also know who you are. Figure out who you are in those situations.
And it takes time, man. Like, I think that's the thing that people don't want to do, is they don't want that learning process, right?
Yeah.
Figure out who you are, figure out what you're comfortable risking, what you're putting on the table, how much leverage you're willing to use. Like, people just want to make it right away and then go full time or whatever their situation may be. But it really does take a lot of experience to get to know like your structure and what fits best for you. Because I mean, you and I both know, like, we have friends that go fucking absolutely ape shit, and they'll run a $250,000 account to like $3, $4, $5, $7 million. And it's like, yo, that's fucking crazy, but that's not like what I'm going to do. And if you try and do that, or you try and emulate that, like, you may lose more money doing it that way.
I can't go to the casino with 10 grand. There's no way I'll ever cash out for 100K. Like, if I had 10 grand, I won like 15, I had 25, I quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like Keyboard Monkey, I've seen him in spots where he's made $7.5 million in one day, and like round trip most, So it's like, you have to have the risk temperature for this stuff. And obviously his win rate's much, much less sometimes, but then sometimes the gains are insane. So,
and I think it's like not comparing yourself to people too. Like, I think that's like one key element, right? Is because there's always going to be somebody out there that has a fuckload more money than you do, right? And there's going to be a shit ton of people that have less money than you do. So if you like, like I said, there's like Pwn Lord, we talk about Ponzi and Rookie, and we talk about all these guys that have done really well that I respect immensely because of what they've been able to do. Sometimes you don't have to like compare yourself to them, because they're just like you were saying earlier, they're just like different animals, they're different beasts, and they have different risk tolerances. All the logistics are different between person and person and trader. So comparing yourself to somebody is never the right way to go.
And all these people have the same problems we all do. Like, no matter, I mean, obviously, like, having money is great. It gives you the ability to do things you want to do. But like, all these people are struggling like with, what's my purpose? Like, what else can I do to motivate me? What else can I do to make money? Like, and even I think Scott posted something on Twitter recently, like, the dopamine of like getting a Lambo or buying a Ferrari or doing all these things is like great, but then it just goes away like pretty quickly after. Which is true. Like, it's like, even I bought like a Rolls Royce a few weeks ago, and like, it was cool, like looking at it, it was like shopping, but now it's like, okay, like, well, hopefully like I don't like fuck it up, or now I got to get it washed every week. Now I got to and it's not really the money. It's just like everything becomes like bigger hassle, but it's still cool to do once or whatever. But like, all these things are like, you see all these TikTok and YouTube videos of people like driving fancy cars and like, look, I made it. Like, no, they haven't. Like, I think people make it when they've like, they feel like they're happy and they're getting what they want out of life, So
100%, man. And I can like attest to that as being just like something that has helped me like stay grounded and just be happy, is like having a family, right? Like having kids like that, having my kids has always been like, if you have a bad day trading, or you make a bad trade, you lose some money, it's like you kind of just go hang out with them for the afternoon and you kind of forget about it, right? Because you realize that it's not like a big deal. And like the bigger picture is like, hey, maybe building a family, or like being able to set your family up so that they can do the things that they want to do, even if it's like, an extra dance class, or if they want to go on a trip or like whatever, just being able to provide that for the family is like something that keeps me grounded like every single day to like try not to be as a insane degenerate as some people are, or
And
like
100%, like no one's having kids these days, and it's crazy. Like
yeah,
I had a kid, and I wouldn't mind having another one, but the best thing ever happened to me was my son. And
yeah,
like just like you said, no matter if everything goes to shit and everything's fucked up, I'm my kid. Like
yeah,
and it's the best. And like for whatever reason, like when you have a kid, like they'll laugh or they'll do any random thing. You think it's like the best thing in the world. It's like a very strange feeling, but I think a lot of kids that are traders, they're doing what we're doing now. Like they're not even going outside. They're not dating. They're not this. They're not that. Like please, like enjoy the fruits of the world. Like if you go outside and there's the grass and there's the girls and there's sports or whatever else to do. Like go work out, go hit a sauna, go hit a cold dip. Make some friends, because like if you get caught in this cycle of like dopamine and gambling and addiction and trading, like it's the same thing. It's like you chase this thing, you get this thing, you're like soothed for a little while, and then you feel bad about yourself. You feel like you're a piece of shit, and then you start over again. And I know this firsthand, believe me. Because I love to go party. I love to I love to do degen stuff, which and you go in these cycles about it. But like even but I can tell you, like it's me having a good day. I think Joe Rogan talks about this too, but me having a good day, waking up and working out for 90 minutes, going to the ice bath, having a good day, not being a piece of shit,
eating healthy,
like you feel good. Like good day.
You
just want to keep having good days, and no one's going to be perfect. Like you're going to want to have fun and party, but just like don't let it get out of control. Like for me, like I was I would never let things get out of control for like, I don't know, it's been 20 years probably now. But lately when I go out now, like there's not like a red button where I can stop. So it's like, now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, like I need to do, chill out for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having fun, right? Like there's nothing wrong with like going out, going to the clubs, or like, go gambling, do all that sort of shit. But, as long as you can, have yourself have like a like what's it called, like a just like the ability to stop if you want to stop, right? It's easy to go to the clubs every single night, but is it worth it to go to the clubs every single night? Probably not. You're spending a shit ton of money on tables, you're spending a shit ton of money on alcohol, just going out or whatever. And like I said, in moderation, right? You can do all this stuff in moderation, or have a weekend in Vegas, or go and hang out with friends at the casino and maybe lose like 20K or whatever it is. But it's like the willingness to be able to lose 20K and then being able to stop, right? And then also it's like, okay, you had your fun weekend, and then now you get to go home and be grounded at work the coming weeks, that sort of thing. So
you rarely wake up where it's worth it. Like the problem is when I went out for that amount of time, every time I'd wake up and be like, oh, that was worth it. But like lately it like hasn't been worth it. Like I have some Amex disputes on the Hamptons. Like I think scammed on some crazy club charges. I don't know if you heard about that, but it's not great.
No, I don't think I have. No, not that one. I'll call you and you can tell me a little bit more about it. That's fucking wild.
I got like a six fig club charge, which made no sense because I went to the club. I went to the club by myself, so I don't know how that works. So
yeah, that's funny, man. Like it's so easy for it to get out of hand. Just super quick, just to swipe the Amex and say fuck it, and then before you know it, you're looking at the charges and you're like, what the fuck even happened? But I'll tell you what, like even just going out, like shopping or something, like you give your wife the card for the Amex card to go and buy some shit, and you're like, what is going on here? Like there's multiple swipes, and but it's all fun, right? It's like you're doing it to take care of somebody, you're letting someone go and have some fun and splurge a little bit. And so like those other moments, it's like, yeah, they kind of suck, but it's like, oh, you know what, well, if you're taking care of someone or getting them to have the time that they want, it's a little bit a little bit more worth it. But yeah, you get a 6-figure charge on the Hamptons by yourself. That's crazy.
Yeah, like, and I think that's a good point. Like, make sure what you're doing is worth it. Like, we can be in the top of the market, and yeah, you want to spend 6 figures or do something fucking crazy. Yeah. But like, make sure it's worth it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'll tell you, like, the clubs and the bottles oftentimes aren't going to be worth it unless like you go with like 5 or 6 guys that are all going to chip in.
Yeah,
you
100%.
Negotiate. Like, you can negotiate with these clubs before you go to them and get the best table there and work something out. But you can go on a bunch of crazy fucking trips with your homies and spend 1/5 the money and have the best time ever too. So
yeah, exactly. So I think, and then it's like, surrounding yourself with the right people, right? Making sure that when you do go to do those trips with friends, and sometimes they could be like in real life friends that have nothing to do with crypto. Sometimes it could be like the crypto homies that you're kind of hanging out with. Just like as long as you have a group of people that are willing to go and, like you said, chip in and just kind of understand, like, hey, this is a good time that we're all going to have. We're all going to splurge a little bit. And then, like, I think you are going to come. Are you going to come out for the Canelo fight in September?
I'll definitely be there. What's the date?
I think it's the 15th or the 13th. I'm not sure what the exact date is, but I know some of the crypto guys are coming in for that. And so, like, that's, a time to go and, like, hang out with buddies, go see an event. That's one reason I do love living in Vegas is, a lot of cool shit happens here. I know we went to the Sphere. You can go to the Sphere with homies. You can go, see a UFC fight. You can go to boxing fights. And so, being able to do that with friends is something that's, worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely plan on being at the fight. I'm going to be back from Vancouver like the 19th, and then I'm going to be back in Vancouver like probably September 1st, but I think I'll probably come back to catch Canelo. I know Rob promised me a ticket, so let me text him right now.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, I think God John and Rob Woods and a couple of those wealth guys are going to come out for it too, so we're going to have a good time. You definitely got to be here.
Yeah. I saw those guys in the Hamptons. Good group of dudes. Like, looks like John's doing really well and Rob's doing really well, and they're taking care of all their team of people. I kind of had a wild day with them that day. Like, went a little bit too hard, I think so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I saw Rob's YouTube video. I've been, and they're good. They're good cats, right? Like, I know it's very easy to kind of see, these big accounts on Twitter, and sometimes they get a lot of hate or whatever. But most of the time, deep down, like they're good people. And so, like, that's what I think it gets a lot of a lot of people get like hate on crypto Twitter or this, or, they think something bad of them. But the reality is like most likely they kind of worked hard to kind of build that account and get to where they are. So, a lot of the people that are like considered the KOLs nowadays, probably in the beginning didn't even plan to be a KOL. It just kind of happened over time with good trading and consistency and being able to grow, your account over time. And so, that's something that I'll always say is, the people that I've hung out with within crypto Twitter have all been really, really fucking stand-up guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few perspectives on it. Like, if you just take it from the approach, it's a PvP game. Everyone signs the terms and conditions and trades on everyone should definitely know that there's insiders and there's everything else. Yeah. I've known John since 2017 or something. I forget, like maybe 18. I'm not sure, but I've known Rob since when they were in much different positions in life. Yeah, and they were always pretty solid guys to me. So I wish them well. I hope they do really well. But they do things I'm not in that world. But yeah, they work really hard and they built quite a dynasty. Honestly, John's doing incredible.
For sure. Yeah, no, he's been around a long time and he's built that wealth group like through the bear markets, like all that sort of shit. And that's the thing too, is like a lot of people in crypto will always be like, oh, crypto's, there's insiders, there's scams, there's all these rug pulls and all this sort of shit. But I mean, the same thing happens in the fucking stock market every single day. Like, I don't know if you follow like IPOs that happened or things that get listed on the NASDAQ. But I mean, last week there was a big fucking IPO called Figma. FIG is the ticker, Fig. Yeah. And bro, that thing was like one of the most manipulated IPOs that I've ever seen hit the market. It was supposed to launch at open at like $33 or $34. And it got delayed for 4 hours while probably, big VCs, big hedge funds, insiders were getting in. And then it opened up to retail at Robinhood at like $89, right? It opened up. So basically opened up like 150% higher than what it was supposed to. And then retail pumps it to 150. And if you look at the chart now, it's down close to 90%. So it's like a lot of people will always associate scamming with crypto. But what is
Figma right now?
Figma's at 78, right? So it's below where it opened up on Robinhood, which, you got to think, right? It goes from 33 to 45 to 65, all while it's supposed to be publicly traded, but it's not. And then it starts to open up to retail at like $80, $90. And then they send it, I think the peak was like 145, 150. And then, all these big hedge funds and VCs start to offload what they got OTC before retail had the access to it. And the shit's down, like I said, like it's like down like 80, 90% as of where it should have been IPOing at. So a lot of people will hate on crypto saying that it's, a big scam and there's all these scams, but the shit happens on publicly traded companies as well. It's across the board. It's not just crypto. It's all markets, all stocks.
I think stocks are worse, honestly. That's why I've always traded crypto. But I think the only difference for me is like if you can be a Cole, it's fine, but you have to have some belief this thing might work, you know. But I feel like some other people that are showing this stuff, they know it's going to be like a bloodbath.
Dog shit.
So
Yeah, yeah. Like kind of just taking the quick money, eat their
yeah,
stack, and then yeah, no, for sure. That's kind of like, if you do get involved with the project, like make sure it's something that you actually do want to get involved with, right? Like something
yeah,
that you do want to hold long term or a long term believer in, right? So, I mean, it just really depends. Like everybody's perspective obviously going to be different. Some people may think all KOLs are trash and that they're these scam artists, but the reality is like, there's some good ones out there that are putting their money where their mouth is, right? Holding some of this stuff, actually believing in it and not making a single cent on it. So,
yeah. Like, and I agree. Like, it's just definitely a different world. And I think, like I said, it's a PvP game, and everyone has their own like boundaries and whatever else. So it's like it is what it is, you know.
yeah, I mean, you could take the approach from Trader Man too, who says this a lot. It's just like, make your money and get the fuck out. Everybody's doing something that's shady. Everybody's probably doing some sort of insider cabal fucking deal or whatever's going on. But it's just like, there's all this shit happening. Just make your fucking money and get out. Make as much as you can and live a happy life. Because all this, I mean, it's not even just crypto.
Yeah.
It's stocks and retail and all that shit too.
He's probably right. The funny thing is like he's never really scammed. Like he's never been that big Cole or anything like that. He's always done things pretty much the right way for the most part.
Yeah, he's a good trader, man. He's really, he's got setups. He teaches a lot. I've learned a lot from him over the years too. There's a lot of people to where like even myself, like I will still take in as much information as possible and learn from people every single day because you even like people like Ponzi and Rookie too, right? Like their stories are so like inspirational and so respectable no matter what through anything that they've gone through to being where they're at now is just something that you got to look and you're like, damn, that's respectable as fuck. And they're so young too, to where it's like no matter what, like you can learn something from everybody out there who's successful if you're open-minded enough for it.
Yeah, Ricky is an incredible human being. Like I think he's probably one of the best people I ever met, and he's done a lot of things for my life and other people's lives without even knowing it. But he's a great trader. He's an incredible trader, and I think Ponzi's learned a lot from him. Obviously, do you have any courses or books or anything that you've read that you'd recommend for other people to read? Or
yeah, I mean, dude, I just think like when I first got started, I was in like 4 or 5 different trading groups I had to pay to get into. Like I was in like with Cameron Foos for Trading, Tim Sykes Trading Challenge, like Kunal Bulls of Wall Street, Odd Stock Trader at Investors Underground. I was in all these and, paid for them. But I mean, the reality is all that information is out there. Like you just got to get on YouTube and learn. You got to get on Wiki and learn. You got to search. You got to grind. You got to watch videos. I mean, Trader Man has a shit ton of videos that are good too. And you can even go off some crypto guys that are good on education, like Chart Champions. Daniel's really good at education. I know the Flow Horse has really good education as well. So there's a lot of fucking people out there that have good at free education. You just got to put in the work. And that's mostly where people don't want to be doing that. They don't want to be, watching the videos. They don't want to be reading the textbooks, but sometimes that's what it takes to kind of get that next level of achievement that you're looking for.
Who's your biggest follows, like in recent follows, like on, copy trading or going through the market if you do that?
I would just say like getting into crypto, there's like goods and bads about it, but I would say, who I learned the most from back in like 2015 was Tim Sykes. And he just had a lot of education about it. And I don't know if he's like washed up now. I don't like follow him or what he's doing, but that's where I learned the most of my bulk education. And then, you got ICT, Inner Circle Trading, and, but I would say like as far as learning crypto right now, who has education out there would be like Trader Main and Daniel at Chart Champions. I think that those two do a really good job of just educating people in general on certain setups or certain plays on what to look for. There's a lot of good free education out there, but you just got to put in the work to find it.
And is Chart Champions, is it like a paid thing or what is it?
I think Chart Champions is paid, but like the Flow Horse has pretty similar education that is free. I know his is on YouTube, and then like all of Trader Main shit is on YouTube as well. So he's one that does a lot of shit for free for the community, which it's it's good and refreshing to see people do stuff not having to charge. But then even the paid groups, right? Like where I learned was paying. I had to pay monthly fees or I had to pay for a course. So like, even if you're paying for like, Wealth Group, right? They got a good community of people that are out there within the industry, like wanting to learn, wanting to bounce ideas off each other. They got good analysts, they got good traders in there. So never be afraid to fucking join a paid course for a couple of months just so that you can get that education and get that confidence that you see from other people. I've always been one to say that I don't personally have a paid group, but I know that paid groups is how I started and it's how I learned everything.
Yeah, I think it works. I think Maine has like Haven.
Yeah, Haven's a good one too. Yeah, those guys, they got a lot of good analysts. The Haven group, there's a lot of good people out there putting out the content to make sure that you can learn in a way. And that's why I say, like, never be a closed book, man. If somebody has a strategy that doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you, right? It doesn't mean that it won't work for other people, but maybe you need to tweak it, or maybe you need to take that education and learn something else and combine those together to make your own trading strategy, right? So just be an open book to how everybody makes money, because everybody can do it in a different way. Even like trenches, right? Sniper bots, being in the trenches, being like those, part of those like new launches. Like, a lot of people make a fuckload of money from that. That's not how I make money. I lose money when I try and do that shit. But there are people out there that can fucking really, really be good about setting up bots, or, getting in on early snipes and that sort of thing. So it all just kind of comes down to the way you want to educate yourself and the way that you want to learn.
What about did you get Canelo tickets, by the way?
No, I think we got a group that's working on it though.
See, like Rob's working on it right now, but he's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, no, we got a group together, and then I know one of the other guys is going to hit up one of their ticket guys. I'm sure they're going to be hella expensive for floor tickets, but the only reason I say floor tickets and not a box is because it's at Allegiant, and those boxes are going to be fucking so far away from the ring, you're not going to be able to see shit except on the monitors. But I think we got a couple of people working on it from my understanding.
Let me know if you get an extra one.
Yeah, we'll add +1 and shit for you with whatever's going on.
Well, let me look on Game Time. Hold on, listen to this.
They were pretty. I was actually just looking not too long ago. They're pretty. I think it's like 10 grand for a floor ticket right now. Like, I'm seeing some for 10, 19, 3, 5, 7. So there's definitely, and then like for right next to the ring, I'm seeing like about 10 or 11K per ticket on those.
I wonder if it's gonna be hard to see. Like,
dude, it's such a big fucking stadium, man. I wish they just would have had it at T-Mobile. I know
awesome. These aren't that bad. It's like $2,800 for a ticket.
Yeah, like on the floor tickets.
Yeah,
I'm seeing like 2866 for floor level, like, and then like 8 grand for closer to the ring, 7,700.
It's the 13th.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they rescheduled it from the 12th. It is the 13th.
Dude, these are crazy. 9 grand.
Yeah, per ticket. That's what we were talking. That's what we were talking about. Was probably looking at 10K a ticket. Dude, the stadium's just fucking big. Like I said, it kind of sucks that they're having it at such a massive arena. Because if you're like anywhere else outside of the floor, it's going to be hard to see.
Yeah, you just go, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. You go to get the experience.
I wonder if this is even worth it. It's crazy. I mean, you can get them in the second row, like B rows, for like 2,800.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple of Bs, 31, 29, 28, 6, 2, 27.
It's the 13th. I'd have to fly back. I don't know. I'm probably going to fade it, actually. I don't think I can do this because I want to go back to Vancouver and then come back again. It would be crazy to me.
Just come for one night and then fly out the next day.
Yeah.
Especially when you're up all night too, dude, because then you're just fucking exhausted the next day.
Yeah, it'd be better when it's watching on TV. It sucks though, because I think this is probably the biggest fight in like the next 10 years, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason, since I've lived in Vegas, I haven't been to a boxing event. I've only been to UFC. So once this kind of started to unfold, I started talking to Rob Woods about it. I don't know, maybe like 3 months ago when it kind of got launched, or like when it got scheduled. But they were like flip-flopping the date. It was supposed to be the 12th. It was supposed to be the 13th. But yeah, finally they fucking got it dialed. But the thing too is like Dana White is also promoting it, I think, with that TKO fucking token boxing promotion that they have. So it's like a lot more than just the normal boxing promoters. Dana White's got his hand in the pot, and I know a lot of the Saudi guys too have the promotion, so they're gonna make a fuckload of money on the fight. But we'll see how it goes. Who do you think wins? Crawford?
I want Crawford to win, but I think the weight difference is too much. I think Canelo's going to win. I don't know. Most of my friends, most of my coaches who are like pretty high level guys think Canelo's going to win.
Yeah.
What's the betting odds? What's the betting odds in the fight?
I haven't even looked. Canelo minus 175.
Yeah, I'll probably fire on Canelo. What? So Crawford's like plus 150.
Yeah, plus 150.
I don't know.
If you can swing it, come. That would be fun, man. Because it'd be a fun event for everybody. But if not, yeah, I get it. Coming to Vegas for one night and then heading out, it's fucking tough.
I mean, if I came out, I'd go for the weekend. But like I don't know. I've been pretty healthy down here. I'm walking like 16,000 steps a day, working 2 hours a day. So blow it up.
Yeah. I know it's tough, man. We went to Portugal for 2 weeks. We were back for a week and then went to Hawaii for a week. And so like every time I'm fucking traveling, it's just so hard to be consistent on food. It's so hard to be consistent working out. Yeah. And so it's nice to finally be home for a little bit.
Take like peptides too. It's like hard to take your peptides and do all these vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
How was Portugal?
It was sick, man. We went out there for one of the crypto guys' wedding. I saw some people. I saw like Charles Reed out there.
Charles is out there. Yeah, he's in New York right now. He was in Vegas. Did you see him, or he hasn't gone to Vegas yet?
No, I don't know if he's gone. I remember he's telling me that he was gonna come in. I think he's actually out here this weekend because a lot of people are here this weekend for that
come to Vegas for sure.
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of people out here now, and tonight they're doing what are they doing tonight? I think they're doing Live at Fountain Blue, and then tomorrow they're gonna do Resorts World Millennium Zook. So yeah, and that's like a lot of people are out here for that. That's why I do like living in Vegas a lot too, is because a lot of people come here. Right? Like I don't have to travel many places to see friends. Like a lot of people come here on the weekends. A lot of my families, like my aunts, my uncles, like everybody fucking comes to Vegas.
Yeah.
So it's nice to not have to travel.
It's just like it's a little bit too small a city for me, like too small.
It is small. It is small. I'm starting to realize that by living here.
And like the weather kind of sucks,
It does. It's windy.
It's easy to get bad habits out there. I think like I'm in LA. LA is like pretty comparable to the bad habit stuff, but like the beaches are great. There's like ways to like I have a house in the suburbs and I have a place like in a condo downtown, so I can like get best of both worlds. But I think San Diego is really the best spot to live. I think I'm gonna try to get down there like half the year, and then I'm gonna live in Bangkok the other half the year. Asia's like amazing. Like you go to Asia, it's like way cheaper.
Yeah,
it's
cleaner
stuff. Dubai's not. I don't like Dubai.
Yeah, I can't. I like Dubai, but I don't like going there for like too long because it's hard to get to from Vegas. Like Vegas doesn't have direct flights anywhere. You're always fucking having to fly to the East Coast or Cali or somewhere else. So it's a long travel day. But like, dude, I agree with San Diego. We lived in Carlsbad for like 5 months before moving into the house in Vegas while it was being built. And it was like, dude, it's just like a fucking dream, bro. Like the weather's great no matter what. Like beaches are right there, good food. You're right in between San Diego and fucking LA. So you can get into LA for a fucking Lakers game.
Sick ass house in Carlsbad for like $2 or $3 million too. It's like
it's really a fucking good city, man. We really enjoyed it. We're actually going back, or we actually just went there like 4 weeks ago. We went to San Diego for a concert with a couple friends, and just when I was there, I just missed it, dude. Like there's nothing that really compares to that San Diego area for me, man. It's just fucking great.
Do you think you can move back there?
I don't know. We might. It's just kind of tough with the girls now getting in school, the kids getting in school. They're now making friends. And so it's like, I think if anything, we'll buy like maybe like a little vacation condo there. I would like to buy a vacation condo in Hawaii, man. I love it out there. It's a little fucking, it's not hard to get to. They have direct flights every single day out of Vegas through Hawaiian Airlines, but I really fucking like Hawaii, dude. It's like just so fucking peaceful and luscious out there. Yeah,
Hawaii is great. I just think you get island fever after a few months. It's like I have a place in Bali, and I love Bali. It's like one of my favorite places in the world. But I think if I was there for more than 2 months, I'd like kind of lose it.
Yeah, no, that's how I feel too, man. Like, I think I wouldn't live there full time. It would be like a spot that we maybe go to 2 or 3 times out of the year for maybe
Yeah.
like a week or two, and just kind of like fly home and just have family and friends go and stay there. But yeah, I mean, it just depends, man. We want to get a vacation home somewhere. We're just not really sure. When we were in Portugal, Portugal seems really fucking cool, but the problem with
Portugal seems
Portugal
sick
is
too.
it's just hard to get to. Like if we have my parents couldn't get there. You know, it's just too far of a fucking flight for them, too long of travels. You know, we want somewhere where like we can go and meet the family and the family can go and meet us, and it's not like a fucking 20-hour trip for everybody.
Where are they from? Texas or where?
They're in New Mexico right now.
Okay.
They live in New Mexico, and then my wife's family still lives up in Seattle. So kind of spread out a little bit, but it'd be nice to have like a little vacay home so that everybody can kind of go to and just kind of experience, you know, just kind of being together because everybody's kind of far apart right now.
That's kind of I'm like my little man's close by, so want to be there till he's 18 and then bounce out.
Yeah, you kind of have to stay. Like, you know, once they kind of get in, you know, my oldest is making friends now, so if we leave, then we have to take her away from her friends, and then she has to go to a new school, and like, so it just kind of starts to get a little complicated when you have kids and they start to grow up and like where you want to go. You need to have like a home base somewhere, and then maybe a couple houses sporadic, you know, in the areas that you like. I'm trying to go. We're going to Singapore maybe in October too for F1. And I really like Singapore. Yeah, you'll be there. Yeah, Singapore is fucking awesome, dude. So I really like going there. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, I'll be fighting the crypto fight night there, and then I need to figure out about getting a room. Actually, where are you staying? Are you staying at Marina Bay Sands or?
That's what I'm gonna try to do. I haven't booked anything yet because I'm still waiting on a couple people to tell me their plans. But yeah, that's the plan.
What are the dates on Token? Do you know?
I think it's like October 1st and 2nd for Token is like, I think our Token's like a little bit before, and then the race is on the 1st and 2nd. Yeah, so Token is October 1st and 2nd. I think the race is on like that 3, 4, and 5.
So when should I get there? Like September 30th or something?
Yeah, for the event. Yeah, I would say so. September 30th. And then you got Token
October or what?
October. It's only 2 days, so October 1st and 2nd, and then the race would be the 3rd, the 4th, and then the 5th on the championship Sunday.
Okay.
But yeah, man. So hopefully we'll see you out there for that, and see you in September too. It's fun, and that's another thing crypto opens up, man. Is it opens up a lot of room for traveling the world. Like some people don't, you know, see that too. You know, you can go to these events and you can get out to Singapore for a little bit. And obviously you don't have to stay at Marina Bay Sands, but you know, for me, I think that's the best hotel to be fucking staying at. They got the casino downstairs, the conference is right there. Some of the best fucking hospitality in the world is at Marina Bay Sands. So it's worth it.
I mean, the food's incredible. Like I really have enjoyed it quite a bit. So
yeah, no, I agree. That whole Southeast Asia food, man, is just fucking great. I think we're gonna plan Japan in 2025 or 2026 and get out there, do Tokyo and all that. I haven't explored Southeast Asia as much as I'd want to, but hopefully in the coming years we'll get out there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on Liquidated, bro. I think I'd like to have you on some more if I can. Usually, I think we're gonna try to get this to a point where we have like 3 or 4 people on at once. We're supposed to have ice bags on the last couple of days, but he was dealing with some stuff. But I think we have Keyboard Monkey coming on next week.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you got some good guests, man. Good guests.
We got a bunch of people coming on. I've been kind of traveling a little bit, but we're going to start picking it up a little bit more soon. But, yeah, I'd love to have you on more, and I'll see you in Vegas soon. If you want to come up to Vancouver for the weekend, let me know.
Yeah, I will, man. Thanks. Talk to you soon.